So do you want me to actually start it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you did.
And welcome to the BlueMilk Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob.
No, you're not.
I'm one of the hosts.
He's the host with the most.
Hostess.
Hostess with the mostest.
Because he has a
I'm
dick.
Jacob.
Fucking retarded.
I'm frightened.
Good.
Oh my god.
That's BJ.
Yeah, I'm DJ.
And that's Dirk.
Oh my god, am I drinking?
We talk Star Wars. That's pretty much the premise of the podcast. We give you our opinion.
This is good. I like it.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I like
Really?
it. I really.
I don't do intros, guys.
We talk Star Wars.
We talk Star Wars.
We talk, you listen.
Oh, listen and watch and like.
Subscribe.
Share.
Share. If I could turn back time.
You made the light come on.
If I could find some way.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
How long has it been since I said I hate you guys? Holy
For
shit.
me, it was like 3 minutes.
No, that is probably true, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tyler.
Me last week, probably.
Tyler?
Yeah, it probably was last week.
No,
No. This
Tyler.
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 Jacob. Jacob?
Jacob.
BJ.
Jacob?
Maybe.
I need a BJ.
BJ.
BJ!
BJ!
Because you know he gives PJs.
No.
Anyway.
Damn it.
You are what you eat.
Tyler.
Yes.
Your topic.
I do have a great topic.
Yes, please.
I do have a fantastic topic.
Then fucking do it.
My topic today is...
what is it?
If you guys would fucking let me finish...
You guys, it's only... Are you...
Well, there are a few.
My topic today is who would you guys view as the strongest trooper? We got the clone troopers, we got the stormtroopers, and now we have the First Order.
And then there's Republic troopers.
Are we talking...
No, fuck them.
What's wrong with the Republic troopers?
Okay, we can talk Republic troopers.
Damn.
They're the weakest, though, but we can talk Republic
The
troopers.
Republic commandos are the shit.
The Republic fucking lost.
Yeah. But commandos were the shit.
They were. But commandos aren't technically considered
The Empire
troopers.
lost too.
That's true. Anyways.
So did the Force Order. Or First Order?
Force Order.
Force Order.
Force Order 1!
Okay. Jacob.
It's going to be an easy one for me. Clone Troopers. They are...
Bitches.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Everything.
I said in an earlier episode that my favorite era was the Clone Wars era because of the Clone Wars series, and this is the exact same reason. The Clone Wars series goes so much into like the trooper life and whatnot. They actually have a arc. Yeah, they have an arc that's just set in Camino that talks about other troopers. Like I think Fives is one of them, right? Fives and everything.
All of them.
Rex is already
Rex is already out, but Fives, and then there was one other one. CT something.
I can't think of it right now. Anyways. But it goes into
CT inappropriate touching.
Oh. Inappropriate touching wasn't in the Camino research facilities.
Are you sure about that?
What I've heard about the movie that's coming out about...
Now I'm not so sure.
Inappropriate touching.
Wait, what? Kids? Remember we had this discussion earlier.
Just stop.
Anyway, clone troopers.
So clone troopers are like... Oh. Dude, stop!
You're a 5-year-old.
You are molesting Mr. Potato Head / Darth Vader.
You are a 5-year-old.
What did that Wampa do to you?
Everything.
Now you're molesting Darth Vader with Darth Vader.
Okay, clone troopers.
So clone troopers is my yeah. So
because you love the clone trooper era stuff.
They're really...
And there are plenty of examples of clone troopers actually being very effective.
Especially Rex.
Captain Rex.
Who actually survives. And he's actually in Return of the Jedi, actually. They made one of the old dudes Return of the... yeah. Rex is alive.
Speak English.
No, one of the dudes in Return of the Jedi.
Really?
Yeah, Rex is
he said that.
one of the guys.
One of the old dudes. He was alright.
So one of the rebels that's hiding next to the base
Chicken
on Endor
thing.
The planet of Endor.
The old guy with the beard?
Yeah. That guy. Yeah, that guy right there.
Yeah.
They made it canon that is Rex.
Wow.
It wasn't Rex beforehand, but the guy didn't have a name or anything like that. So Rex is alive by Return of the Jedi.
That's
and
pretty
he's
good,
on
actually.
Endor.
Because to live through all through the Clone Wars, and then to live through episode
And
4,
he's
5,
in Rebels
6.
and everything like that.
That's
He
impressive.
helps-
That is
yeah.
impressive.
He's a badass.
You know, I have to agree. Going off of Jacob, Clone Wars would obviously be my pick on the most powerful troopers.
What do you mean Clone Troopers?
Clone Troopers.
Because of Clone Wars.
Yeah, Clone Troopers. Fuck yourself.
You know, I'm the one drinking,
We can't.
and these guys can't fucking speak English.
No, they can't. Just bad.
But
That
you
they
gotta
can.
you gotta go into the genealogy actually of why the Clone Troopers would be better. For one, they're molded after Jango Fett, who we all know is a notorious bounty hunter, and
We don't
Amen.
all know
But
that.
not necessarily a badass, because he got his ass beat.
he
By
kicked the shit out of Obi-Wan. What are you talking about?
He got his ass beat by one of only 3 black people in the entire Star Wars universe.
Who we also know is a Mandalorian, and Mandalorians are just
The black dude?
People?
Or Jango?
Jango.
Jango
Okay,
Fett.
Jango
Jango.
Fett's a Mandalorian. Okay.
who we all know are battle-hardened warriors.
No, we don't all know that. I'm telling you because they don't.
Don't mess with his glasses.
I didn't mess with his glasses.
You did. You pushed him down a little bit. Say you're sorry.
I'm sorry, BJ.
Okay.
Thank you.
Regardless, some people don't know
okay,
Mandalorians
well,
are
if-
battle-hardened badasses.
They are, and they're badasses.
They are. If you don't know what a Mandalorian is, look it up on Wikipedia. There's just so much to talk about.
I'll put a fucking link up for Mandalorians.
They're
Thank you.
beautiful
Um,
creatures.
And then, you got to think, too, because, during the Clone Wars, there's scene after scene after scene after scene of them just being general badasses. Like,
It's called the Clone Wars.
yeah.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, you got to think, they're going up against droids with superior targeting systems and winning.
And not
They're cheaply
necessarily
made droids, though. That's the thing.
superior.
Yeah.
Like,
they're good enough.
Computerized,
I'm
but they're
gonna-
not necessarily
They have the numbers.
superior. They do have the numbers.
Yeah.
One
Not the
of
clones.
the
And then,
Yeah.
one of the scenes, like in Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah.
it actually shows a clone trooper running up to the crab droid and shooting him on the head.
I think that was Commander Cody, wasn't it?
I don't believe so.
Oh.
Yeah, no, Commander Cody kind of stayed in the back a little bit.
With Obi-Wan's lightsaber.
What about you? He's Clone Troopers. What about you?
I gotta go with the clone troopers as well, because they were more rigid in their
Combat ethics.
I'm drinking.
Yeah, you want combat ethics? Structure?
Structure. Yeah, more rigid in their structure. So they would have more of a powerful presence and a better ability to...
I mean,
Get
even
things
you got to
done.
think, too, 60
no,
years...
No. Stop. Let me finish this thought, because I'm drinking.
He'll
Yeah.
take that.
The First Order troops appear, which kind of leads into... We can bleed into my topic. The First Order troops seem to be more of conscripts rather than clones
Mhm.
or anything.
They're also
And-
indoctrinated,
Brainwashed.
Conscripts.
Not all conscripts are, but yeah, I get you.
Okay. The clones would be pre-programmed to follow orders and get shit done. And
Essentially the same kind of thing. That's just done at an earlier stage.
Which...
They're
they would
grown
start
to
from,
believe that.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're genetically designed to follow.
Orders.
Which is
Orders.
what I was going to go off of, 60 years in the future, even Kylo Ren thinks clone troopers are more superior than troopers born into
Yeah,
this
because conscripts have, for lack of a better phrase, a mind of their own.
Right.
So there would be more of a chance for dissension among the ranks.
Which is exactly what happens with Finn.
Exactly.
And you don't have that many rare. You have very rare occasions when clone troopers actually defect, because there are clone troopers that do defect from the clone army.
There actually was 2 of them.
I know there was one episode that covered one of it in the Clone Wars series.
No, one of the last episodes covered 5.
Yeah, but he wasn't defecting. He was trying to figure out the chip that did Order 66 and whatnot. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
Clone Troopers.
I think that was it.
Oh, okay.
Clone Troopers Superiorhism already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clone Troopers would be the best, because the Stormtroopers were terrible.
Even though Obi-Wan said that only Stormtroopers have this accuracy.
People suck.
I think Obi-Wan was thinking of the Clone Troopers when he mentioned the
and he just had a old timer moment.
He's old.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 100 and whatever. At least he acts like it. It's probably in his 60s, but still.
Yeah.
He acts like he's 100 and something. He's lived alone by himself for a long time.
So he's got that cabin fever kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I like that.
PJ? Your favorite trooper, or not your favorite, but far
most powerful trooper.
Republic troopers, because they built the Republic. They're the reason the Republic even existed in the first place.
Yeah, but they also fucked the Republic.
No, they didn't.
Explain.
They didn't fuck anything. They were troops.
They are the reason why the Republic lost.
No.
Yeah.
The Republic fell because of back the order dealing and everyone agreeing to let Palpatine be the Supreme Chancellor.
So what you're saying is the soldiers themselves take no responsibility for...
They didn't like that.
The downfall.
No, wait. Which era are we talking about? Because now you're saying Republic troopers, which I'm thinking the old Republic.
I didn't say old Republic, did I?
So you're just saying all Republic troopers. So you're saying before, not just clones.
Republic troopers.
You're just saying in Republic troopers in general.
Okay. I can agree with that.
Okay.
Because the Republic troopers didn't, turn on the Republic. Mm-hmm. They didn't try to kill anyone. They didn't do anything. They were simply the tool of the Republic to defend the Republic.
Until Order 66 was given.
Order 66 was given to clone troopers, and clone troopers followed Order 66 and turned on the Republic. So Republic troopers weren't programmed to follow Order 66, because by that point, Republic troopers had been weeded out, and clone troopers were involved because of the Genosian droid battle.
So what makes the Republic troopers so badass, in your opinion?
Look at it this way. How many different worlds existed within the Republic? Like, how vast was the Republic?
It was pretty big.
Okay. How big of an army do you actually need in order to maintain security, any kind of stability in a Republic that big?
Couple million.
It doesn't have to be that big.
No, it does.
No, it doesn't. It depends. It has to be mentally that big.
No.
But the actual number of troops doesn't have to be that
big.
It
doesn't have to be that big, but how badass do you think they have to be in order to be able to fight in any situation?
The reputation has to be big. Yeah.
No, Republic troopers fought in every single type of planetary environment you could imagine.
That's true.
Because they have to put down insurgencies in every planet type. They had to be able to put down. They had to be able to put down insurgencies. They had to fight against rebellions. They had to pretty much solidify peace and order
on certain planets too. They had to fight against the wildlife.
Yeah, you got Felucia. You also got planets like colder.
So you have all of these planets within the Republic that exist that have all these different environments, and the clone troopers are good. But they were made that way.
Designed.
They were designed at a fundamental DNA level to be that way. Their base code is based off of Jango Fett, but the Kaminoans did more to it than just, let's just cut and copy, Jango Fett. They used him as a base, but then they modified it to make it better. So clone troopers are technically designed inherently to be perfect. But the thing is Republic troopers were literally just rank and file dudes like you and me. And they went out and they fought in every
conscripts.
No, not necessarily conscripts, because they
weren't controlled. They weren't brainwashed.
They weren't brainwashed. They like according to you. I
didn't mean that all conscripts were brainwashed.
But you used that as a reference because I said that New Order people were brainwashed, and you were like, "Well, conscripts then." So if you're using conscripts in that terminology, then that's inaccurate for the Republic trooper.
I can see.
So the Republic troopers were literally just rank and file, normal people of every race and every creed that you can imagine, unified under one idea, which is the Republic. And they fought in every environment known to man in the Star Wars galaxy. They fought in deserts, they fought on like ice planets, they fought in the shittiest swamps, they fought in the hellish jungles, they fought in everything.
They fought even on Coruscant.
Exactly. So these guys, who are battle-hardened and know what the fuck they're doing, maintained peace in a republic for longer than the Empire existed.
He does have a point.
I don't think anyone thinks that stormtroopers are like the best thing in the world because they're terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the running joke with the stormtrooper is they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn even if they were standing 5 feet away from it. Like, that's the general consensus.
You know, episode 4 kind of ruined the whole stormtrooper.
They couldn't. There were 20 of them chasing after Han, and they couldn't hit him.
There was fucking a hallway, not 8 feet wide, and C-3PO and R2-D2 made it through without getting hit. Fucking shots going back and forth.
That's accurate, yes. And I mean, you saw how many stormtroopers are getting dropped by all those rebel troopers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, I mean, those are rebel troopers. They aren't Republic troopers. You got to think of it that way as well. Like, when you're thinking Republic trooper, you have to think like episode 1. Is any kind of movie.
Really?
Because episode 2 is when they actually started moving in the clone troops.
Yeah.
And then episode 3, there's nothing but clone troops by that point.
I mean, some of the higher ups have Republic guards, like the Palpatine had Republic guards.
Yeah.
When Padme came to Coruscant, she had Republic guards.
Yeah.
But after that, yeah, you're right. Even in episode 3, there were clone troopers guarding Palpatine.
Yeah, there's clone troopers everywhere.
Yeah.
By that point. And I mean, you know, you have, what is it, Rogue One? Most of those are clone troopers by that point.
They actually phased the clone troopers.
Yeah,
out.
they do.
But by the end of episode 3, by the time the Empire started, yes, but they still had a shit ton of them. So most of those troops, you have to infer that they are indeed clone troops because they started phasing them out, but it's not like they just throw them away. They wouldn't just let them die.
No,
They're still useful.
A lot of them actually did.
They
phased out the clone troopers because they were starting to get too old at that point. Because
they would just let them die. They wouldn't even use them as like a viable troop anymore.
By the time they hit, like when episode 4 would hit, they're around the age of around 55 or so. The age of 55, so they weren't good for like.
Apparently, 55-year-olds aren't worth shit.
No, I'm just saying.
Sorry, old people.
Well, look at going back into the real world today. Look at the NFL. A major quarterback is retiring around 30 to 35.
Fuck the NFL.
Yeah, but it's a good reference.
My sponsors.
It is.
Like we're gonna have any sports sponsors.
God no.
But regardless, like okay, so but by the time of Rogue One, Episode 4, Episode 5, and Episode 6, yes, they've definitely weeded out most of the clone troopers. They're still around, kind of.
Yeah,
but not in any really kind of like trooper sense.
Mm-hmm.
No,
but
it's all stormtroopers at that point, which
are not good.
Should still be clones.
No,
they're not clones.
They're conscripts.
Well, they're not conscripts either. According to your terminology, they're volunteers.
No. Don't start.
No,
I'm telling you.
Defining.
I would say that they are actually conscripts
is...
because they're being led by propaganda that's created by the Emperor.
You're written.
All right, we'll go with that.
I do agree with that.
That's
It's complete propaganda, and because of like all the Inferno Squad, I read that book. That was a great book, and then
the campaign was amazing too on the game.
And then Lost Stars as well. Those kind of put me into like all these people like they're joining the Empire because they believe that the Republic was completely corrupt, which it was, and that the Empire was going to save them. And there's nothing greater than the Empire. That's what the propaganda has created. The Emperor is like the greatest thing in the world. And then when you finally see who the Emperor was, I'm like, who's this guy? This guy isn't the Emperor. or anything like that. It's a creepy old guy.
I do have to say, in one part of the game in Battlefront 2, spoilers, because the game came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. I'm thinking original Battlefront.
You actually play a mission as Luke Skywalker, and you run into one of the members of Inferno Squad, Del Meeks, and he's trying to blow up one of the Emperor's hidden...
Lucas.
No, Del Meeks.
Oh, okay, so one of the member of Inferno Squad.
Yes, is trying to blow up one of the Emperor's kind of like hidden storage caches. And Luke is there for a specific item, and it's actually really interesting because you get to see the item, but it doesn't explain what the item is. So I'm really hoping that, because they've already said they're going to do more campaign, I'm really interested in seeing, what it was he picked up. Well, anyways, in order to get into the vault, Luke had to use the Force. And so Del Meeks was telling Luke that he was afraid of the Jedi growing up on Coruscant. Simply for the reason that, just the thought of being able to use the Force scared him. So when he saw Luke open the storage cache with the Force, he started to question himself and say to himself, why would the Emperor create something that can only be opened by using the Force? And he actually asked Luke this question. And Luke's reply was actually really awesome. He said,
go fuck yourself.
He said Del said to Luke, are you telling me that the leader of the Empire is secretly a Jedi? And Luke's reply was, no, I'm telling you that as a child growing up on Coruscant, you were afraid of the wrong thing. Okay, moving on. Dirk, your topic.
Here,
Are you
actually,
okay?
no, fuck you.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah,
Okay, you do one of yours.
Go ahead.
One of mine?
Yes.
Oh,
Pick one.
God. Okay.
Come on.
All right.
Pause. Jacob, how about you?
What do you mean? Oh, sorry.
Topic?
This is kind of an interesting thing because I didn't know about your guys' Do you think the Jedi should have joined the Grand Army of the Republic to fight the Separatists in the Clone Wars?
Ooh, that is a good one.
Uh-huh.
Should the Jedi have joined the Grand Army
of the Republic
against the Separatists in Episode 1?
In Episode 2.
In Episode 2.
Making them all generals and everything like that.
Because the Jedi weren't involved in that, were they?
They were,
but they weren't.
They were technically supposed to protect the Republic, which is what they did, but they're all supposed to be peacekeepers, not fight in a war.
Allow me to
I'm
say
going to
this.
need more wine to decide.
Allow me to say this. I strongly disagree with the idea of Jedi generals, and this is why. Let me explain. Going off of what you just said, the Jedi are there to protect the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
The Republic didn't use the Jedi to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They used the Jedi to stage wars on planets that the Republic did not control. So, what I think the Jedi's involvement should have been in the Galactic War, or the Clone War, is to protect planets that are loyal to the Republic and to protect Coruscant. But as far as leading the charge against the Separatists, I don't think that the Jedi should have been anywhere near that.
To be honest, the Separatists, the war involving the Separatists wasn't really a big thing.
Mm-mm.
It like literally, it just covered like one system. I mean, the Separatist war was Genosha.
It really was.
Well, no, the Separatists was the Clone Wars. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, is the Clone Wars.
Oh, the Clone Wars themselves?
It's against the Separatists versus... That's
split. Or the Separatists was a lot bigger.
The Confederates... Oh, hang on. It's the Confederacy of Independent Systems, I think. Yeah, the Confederacy of Independent Systems versus the Republic.
Okay.
Sorry, I used the wrong thing. That's what they used to call them, was the Separatists.
Yeah,
but the Confederacy of Independent Systems versus the Republic, the Galactic Republic.
Jedi, ultimately, I don't think Jedi ultimately should be involved in war.
Mm-hmm.
They have no place being involved in war. A lot of their doctrine is geared around protecting, healing, not like going out and fighting. I mean, that's something a Sith would do. that even follows the Sith credo. So I mean, like the doctrine of the Sith would be more in line of going out and fighting in a war. The doctrine of the Jedi is more like we protect, we maintain, we guard against the chaos of time. Essentially, is their thing. So I think they're good. I think Jedi are very good if they are put in positions at like a foundation level of any kind of society. Like if they're there to guarantee stability in a political structure, then they are good. So like putting a Jedi in charge of like infrastructure, maintenance, libraries, anything involving, you know, the collecting and protecting of knowledge.
I have a hard time thinking of a Jedi as a janitor.
Well, no, not necessarily janitor. Maintenance is more like maintaining like roads, like going out and like helping rebuild or build buildings.
But
they can use the Force to do that, and that falls within line with them. They can use that to like hold up girders and like, you know, meld frames. They like crush things together, like contact welding, stuff like that. They could do with the Force.
They could do it with their lightsaber too, but yeah.
Yeah, with their lightsaber as well. Like, I think they're more in, like, Jedi are more in line with constructing, developing, protecting, being at the ground level of a society, and like...
No.
The Jedi are Fix-It Felix,
I see,
the Sith is Wreck-It Ralph.
I see Jedi as more self-centered.
I agree.
They're helping their own...
That's
and
but
helping
that's
the
but that's I'm not talking
infrastructure of a society.
I'm not talking about what they've become. I'm talking about what they are fundamentally.
What they should be
at their doctrine level. Like if you look at their doctrine, at their credo, and you look at it that way, this is what they're designed to be.
What they should be and what they are two different
I
things.
understand that, but he wants to know whether or not they should have joined the against the Clone in the Clone Wars, and I'm stating that no, they shouldn't have gone to combat because I don't see them as that. I don't even see them really as a peacekeeper. Like, I don't see them as police.
But they think of themselves as peacekeepers.
Correct, and that's what they've become. But, like, according to their doctrine, I don't see them in that role. I see them more as librarians, like archivists. I see them, and there's nothing wrong with librarians.
They're the protectors
No.
of knowledge.
Well, knowledge and, like, society in general. Like, I could see them, like, going out and building and maintaining buildings. Like, you know... stuff like that, like being put in a position where they maintain the stability of the society that is supposed to be protected, and then you have a military that develops from that society, and that the military is designed to protect. And I mean, you can still have police. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have Jedi anywhere near the police. The police are the police. Mm-hmm. The Jedi are simply there to be like the overseers, I guess.
You go.
No, go ahead.
Okay. The reason why I was asking this is because I was watching the end of season 5 of the Star Wars: The Clone Wars series, and it takes place with a bombing at the Jedi Temple because some of the civilians and some of the Jedi are very upset that the Jedi ever went into the war in the Clone Wars, and that's why I kind of got this idea, because that's just kind of a cool idea of thinking of that way, because I never thought of it, to be honest.
Well, it's not just that. That's not the only instance of that.
Yeah.
There's another instance in the Old Republic 2, mm-hmm. when the Outlander is essentially brought back and held trial.
Outlander. It's the Exile.
The Exile, yeah. But the Exile is the Outlander.
They're two different people.
Who's the Outlander?
The Outlander comes way, way, way after Revan and the Exile.
Because it's a time frame.
You're talking like 300-400 years.
Wait,
after.
Is the Outlander part of the Old Republic, the MMO?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, that's the Outlander. Yeah, okay. No, there's the Exiled. So the Exiled is KOTOR 2, Knights of the Old Republic 2. And the Exiled one comes back, and there's a flashback where the Exiled one comes back and is held in trial.
Yeah.
They're come in to be tried by the current, at the time, Jedi Council that existed, and they were like, we never once agreed to go to war with the Republic. We didn't want to, and you and Revan and all of your, Revan's followers went against the wishes of the Council to go to war to protect the Republic.
That's what I was about to bring up, is
and all that, and that's the other instance of that, where like literally the Council has always been very like hesitant about going into war and stuff like that. Not always, but most of the time.
But they kind of got used to it over the ages and everything. Like, you know what, we're just going to go with the Republic because that's what we know. That's our like base value kind of thing. Is protect the Republic.
Exactly.
But I kind of agree with you. But the also part is that I do believe that they should be peacekeepers. That's why, like, when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan went to Naboo to do like the trade thing with like the Trade Federation and the Naboo, that would be a perfect.
See, the thing is I believe in that situation, it would have happened the exact same way with or without them.
Mm-hmm.
They would have.
But you got to look at how it would have ended without them.
It would have ended. The war would have ended anyway.
Right, but
because the Republic would have brought its armies in. See, the thing is if the Jedi weren't put in a peacekeeping, if they weren't considered like a peacekeeping army or like a peacetime army, if they weren't considered that to begin with, and you had a proper police structure,
you have to ask yourself though, because in the first episode, he actually attacks them because the droid says they're Jedi. He doesn't attack them just because he wants to attack them.
Yeah, so. If the Jedi weren't even there to begin with, none of that would have happened.
Okay.
That's how you have to look at it. Is like the reason a lot of the situations happen the way they happen in the movies is because the Jedi are there to begin with.
And also Palpatine took that into consideration because he wanted the Jedi to be completely destroyed.
Exactly. So, like, if they're put in a different role, if they were pretty much put in the role that they were meant to be, the armies and like any police keeping forces that already existed would be instilled with a different mindset. They wouldn't be reliant upon the Jedi. They wouldn't be like, oh, well, if I don't figure it out, a Jedi will come along and do it for me anyway. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the kind of mentality that led to the corruption of the Republic in the first place.
And that's why it was so easy for Palpatine to pretty much say, hey, the Jedi are trying to overthrow the Republic and they're trying to gain power. Because they were kind of put into that situation with being the commanders of the armies and everything like that. It just kind of showed everyone that they had a seat in power and they wanted more and more, and Palpatine kind of put an end to that.
He fed them. Yeah. He fed them that fear.
Yeah,
he fed into that fear so that he could get his power. Mm-hmm. That's how Palpatine was able to rise to power.
Palpatine's so smart, to be honest. I mean, if you look, he played the long game, and he is a genius.
Well, a lot of the foundation of that long game was put into place by Bane.
Yeah,
but. Yes, he had the resources and the means and the capability to do that, which is very impressive, yes. Sure.
I can't disagree with any of that.
Wow.
Well, yeah, but do you have anything to agree or disagree?
Oh, I absolutely agree.
That they shouldn't have?
Yeah. Originally, I was thinking, well, yeah, they should have gotten involved. They should have... They're peacekeepers, so in order to keep the peace, you get involved and win the war. So why not put your best people in, and who better than the Jedi to keep the peace? But you make a valid point.
You got to think, too, what my boy Plato said thousands of years ago. Only the dead have seen the end of war.
And how many thousands of years?
Can you give me a time
I don't know, fucking ancient Roman history?
If you're going to bring up that shit, you better be able to give me a year.
2,000 years ago.
Plato?
Yeah, Plato.
Plato existed it wasn't like exactly 2000, but it's around there.
It's like 22 or something like that, because he's Greek.
It's like 24.
Oh, it's 22,000 because he's Greek.
No,
I'm just saying that Romans weren't really there.
Romans took over.
The Roman Empire existed for 400 years before zero.
Yeah. And then they existed after.
I'm just saying
zero.
that Plato
the
is Greek,
existed 7,500 before zero.
Yeah, I know about that. They probably
or longer.
And the Byzantines.
Yeah. Anyways, getting off topic.
Yeah, way off topic.
Yeah,
but Plato's Greek.
Just making a point.
But anyway, so Yeah, okay. So we were able to, because of the discussion, we were able to pretty much sway.
Yeah,
you, 'cause you're like, originally, you're like, well, yeah, they're peacekeepers.
Yeah.
They should be out there. They should be doing this. But then, like,
what better way to keep the peace than get involved?
exactly. But they shouldn't have been in that. They shouldn't have been in that position
Right.
to begin with.
Right.
Because that's. I believe that is one of the major reasons. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why the Republic failed, why it became as corrupt as it did. There's not just one situation that you can point to or one thing that you can point to that's like, well, that's what led to the corruption of the Republic. No.
Following of the light side, that's what...
No. But one of the main things that led to the corruption of the Republic is the fact that they leaned as heavily as they did on the Jedi. And they shouldn't have. The Jedi should be there to help maintain and keep, the infrastructure sound, but all of the things involving peacekeeping or military or anything like that should be left to the police and the military. Those guys are the ones that should be in charge of those things. The Jedi shouldn't really be in charge of anything other than maintaining or helping maintain.
They should be, for all intents and purposes, ambassadors. Plain and simple ambassadors.
I wouldn't even put them in as ambassadors because, honestly,
they're in the Parks and Recreation Department.
I wouldn't even put them as ambassadors because, honestly, in the case of
Parks and Recreation,
Park
Rangers.
Yeah.
They're just National Park, Galactic Park.
Well, not
Rangers.
just that, because they'd also be in charge of the libraries and any kind of major institute of knowledge. I mean,
you say that,
like
and
that.
all I picture is Obi-Wan as the kid Obi-Wan with horn-rimmed glasses, the chain.
But the thing is, if they had stuck to that, their traditions probably would have evolved a lot differently. Think instead of lightsaber training, maybe it's how to utilize a lightsaber as a tool to build things.
Well,
instead of to kill things.
In silence.
I still think that they would go against the dark side because that's just their nature.
Well, no, but see, the thing is, fundamentally, they would be going against the dark side because fundamentally, the dark side is about destruction. It's even in the credo.
But they need
in the credo of the dark side.
Not about
break my chains. It is.
Chains. Breaking chains is not necessarily destruction.
But they use it metaphorically to mean just about anything.
They do.
No.
Yes, they do.
No.
Yes, they do.
That doesn't... No, because breaking chains does not necessarily lead to destruction.
No,
it does.
It is breaking...
It's more of a freedom. Breaking chains is being you're free from something.
But in order to become free, because the credo follows that, it says, I break my chains, the Force shall free me.
Yes.
Which means they have to destroy whatever is holding them.
Or let
that
go.
Doesn't mean,
or just generally just let go.
That doesn't... No.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily lead to destruction.
It's interpretation, but it definitely means that something has to be destroyed or broken in order to become free.
Right, you know what?
I'd take a piss.
Oh!
I really do have to take a piss, though. So.
Well, then do it. Nobody's stopping you.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Wait.
Wait.
This is the episode before Last Jedi, guys.
It is.
Last Jedi.
Oh my God, Tyler, hurry up!
No, he's good.
Yeah. Episode 8, guys. It's
Episode 8's coming out, this Thursday?
This Thursday.
This Thursday.
Yeah, this Thursday.
I every year for Star Wars, ever since Force Awakens, I kind of put a get-together with all my friends. This year we have about 20 people, which is the highest it's ever been. First year was 9. Last year for Rogue One was 12. Now at 20.
It's pretty big.
I've grown up in numbers. I get there at noon. I save seats. Pretty much this is an invitation for all you guys. You guys can come. We'll all be
We're
there.
not paying for anybody else.
Yeah, I've already... This is...
We already have our tickets.
Yeah.
As well as the tickets for our own group of individuals.
By your own.
But...
we would like you to join.
We would love to have you come join us.
Where are we going to be?
we're going to be at the Harkins in Prescott Valley. I don't know what Harkins is. It's Harkins in Prescott Valley, 7 o'clock showing on Thursday, December 14th.
Yeah.
So this December, this Thursday.
7 o'clock showing.
This
December.
At this Thursday.
Theater 10.
Theater 10.
I have the,
is it Theater 10?
It is Theater 10.
Right.
Yeah,
It's Theater 10. Theater 10.
Cool.
7 o'clock showing. Episode 8. Be there with us.
Please don't murder us.
Will be there.
They're not going to murder us.
I hope not.
They're not going to murder us. They'll murder us with questions.
Dude, yes.
Do that.
Jacob, Tyler, and BJ will be signing autographs. I'll be happy to look at you and frown.
That'll be his form
You
of
can take a
autograph.
picture with
We're
us.
not doing fucking... well, I mean, I guess we could.
Yeah, if you really want to.
The fuck autographs? We're not that fucking famous, asshole. Anyway.
I love it.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, share, subscribe.
We have a Facebook page.
Facebook.
We have a...
I knew you
That's not how the Force works! Actually, it is, actually. Anyways, yeah, we have a Facebook...
I thought that was pretty forceful.
Yeah.
We have a Facebook page. We have a Twitter profile, so go there. We're at BlueMilk
Sausage
Podcast
will
on
be
Twitter and the BlueMilk Podcast on Facebook. So just look at us. And of course, we're on YouTube because that's how you're watching us right now. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that fun shenanigans.
Deuces.
Deuces.